Alright, we got a little 78 by 94 motor here we're putting together. Thought I'd go ahead and push the record button. It's been about a while. But anyway, we got the crank set in there. We're going to use our bearing before we put it in the other camshaft to make sure our assembly is seated properly. You want the bearing to sit nice and flat and not be able to rock it. That way your dowel pins are all lined up and your crank's sitting flat in the saddles. So we're going to try to get these rods to behave. We won't press our luck. Let me put the bearing in the other half of the case here. Alright, this is a early, sort of a really early aluminum case from back in the 80s. So when I say early, it's early. The guy bought it and never ran the motor. The car just sat around, and he decided that he wanted to get his Volkswagen running, so he brought it to me, and we're going to upgrade it a little bit. We put air condition on it, and we're going to build this motor and do a training for it and make it where you can enjoy it. So this is pretty much an A&A motor complete. He bought one of their engine kits. I had to clearance the case, clearance it at the top. Here, and then we had to clearance the back of the cylinders. We had to clearance the cam journal here. And now when you buy an aluminum case, you have the option of getting it set up for a stroker. But back in the 80s, I guess they were just experimenting with it, and this is basically a stock replacement case, which is still available. Not so much here, but in California I hear they're available. This isn't solid behind number 3. So this probably wouldn't be a great candidate for an all-out race motor, but for a street motor it's going to be fine, and he already had it. So we're going to use it. We're going to use it and see what happens. I set it up for a sump, so I've welded a tube on there. Put a 4-quart sump on it. And don't know if we're going to full flow it yet. Probably not. I'm going to keep the cost reasonable since he's building the whole car. And then if he's into it, you know, he'll add stuff as he goes. You know, you'll only do what people want you to do. And anyway, this case says O2DM6-16-01602. No auto lean on it, no names, nothing. So I don't know who made the case. We're going to see if it rotates. See if I clearanced enough out of this thing. Put the little pulley on there if it fits. Well, it fits and it spins is always a good sign. So basically we're going to hold this side and make sure that it passes through here okay. And you don't want to hold the pin where the rod's going to go. You know, don't put it up here above the studs or down here. Put it where it's going to operate. And you know, that way you can see if it's going to come into contact with the stuff realistically. I like to have about 80 thousandths clearance to make sure you don't have any collision issues, because when it hits the case, it usually knocks the case half off. This one needs a little more clearance here. You can see where we're getting a little collision there. I can manipulate the rod past it, but I would clearance it where you can move the rod through here. So we're going to cut a little more out of here. This case is very strange. It doesn't have a lot of support on the back of the cylinders. And I'm having to cut quite a bit of it out to make this case work for this. So that side needs a little more. We'll take this side and rotate through this side and see how we look over here. This side will probably be good because, like anything, you know, you do one side first and then go to the other side. And usually the second side needs more work. This one's good. This one's really good. Good. I just need clearance a little bit off the top on the other side. No biggie. We'll take it back apart and clearance that these little spots on the top there. I actually have them marked with a pen and just didn't go far enough. Should have trusted my pen. But yeah, a little bit at the tops and we'll be good. Then we can move on with this assembly. We need to pick a camshaft. It's got an FK87, which is a good street cam. It's pretty aggressive with high lift rockers, but they had stock rockers on it. So it's probably comparable to like a C45 with the stock rockers. But he's probably going to want a little more power, being that we went through the aggravation of putting a stroker in it. This is a Berg 315 and it's been hand clearanced. Now you can order them turned down. They turn the circumference down between the lobes and you can almost get away without cutting it at all. So we'll probably order a camshaft and have it machined when he picks a cam. I'll get with him tomorrow. We'll pick a cam. These are the cylinder heads we're using. Show you these. We're using the 049 Rev Masters, which are pretty solid heads, really beefy, nice construction. And we've got the smaller plugs so they don't crack, and they're double springed. We took these apart, lapped them in, made sure everything was okay, and they looked really good. So the heads are ready to go. Bought an exhaust system from NA, got the muffler, bought all the cylinder tins, everything pretty much. Got the piston cylinders. For some reason they gave me A's, which I really don't like. B's are the way to go, because unless you're going to run more compression than you got gas for, you probably want to go with a B so you don't end up with a lot of spacer under here and a big wide motor. But the owner decided to stay with the A's. I was going to ship them back and get the B's, so we'll have to pull the rings off one of the pistons, put one of those on, and see what kind of deck height we got. The piston's going to be hanging out of the cylinder more than likely, and we're going to have to order a spacer for between the cylinder and the deck here. So I'll make a video of that, and then we'll set the deck height gauge up, set all that up. And then that's about it. That's what's going on. I did build a motor for the bus. I got that running the other day, so that's good. And yeah, the Nova's still sitting behind us here, and still got the 2110 on the floor here. Haven't put that in anything yet, but I'm working on stuff. So that's where we're at. That's what's going on with this. We'll just keep this real short, and we'll bring you some more videos of this stroker build. We'll figure out what camshaft we're going to go with next. We'll get a cylinder out, set that up, and show you how to figure out what spacer you want here. Don't think we're going to run a copper gasket on this, because it's, you know, a pure street car, and he's not going to want to service and retorque the heads. So we'll put all our spacer at the bottom here. They do have pretty large combustion chambers on those. We do need to CC one and see where that's at, so I can actually calculate what the compression is going to be. He wants to be able to run high test, so most I can get away with, it seems like about 9.8, you know, 10 to 1. Then you got to run good gas all the time though, and watch the timing. So that's where we're at with that. And I think that's about it. We're going to go ahead and end this video, and we'll turn the camera back on when we start doing all that other good stuff we talked about. So until then, thanks for watching. Thanks for being patient for the next video, and we'll see you on the next one.